Is it still morning? Yes. Good morning, everyone. I'm Nindi. I just want to kick things off by saying this is my first MacDevOps, first time in Canada as well, and I'm having a blast. Everyone I've met, they've been warm and welcoming, and the weather's been amazing, so thank you to whoever organized that. Just a little bit about me. So I'm based out of Melbourne, Australia. That's a list of things that can try to kill you on a daily basis. A close second to my lovely wife is a deep, deep love of Swift. So that's what I'm here to talk about. I love Swift, so much so that I make a whole bunch of apps. I don't have my presenter notes. Okay, sorry, bear with me. What can you guys see? Nothing. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, presenter notes. Awesome. So I make a whole bunch of apps. Some of those are out of rotation. Some of them are still in use, but all of them have helped improve my skills as a software engineer. Greg mentioned in his talk yesterday that he learned Python to solve a problem at work, Monkey. Most of these, I had a problem to solve, so I dove into Swift and Swift UI to solve those problems. And Bart, I don't know where Bart's sitting. There he is. My buddy Bart spoke about getting involved in open source projects. Half of these apps are based on existing open source projects that I drew inspiration from. And some of the people that wrote those apps are sitting in this room. So again, Greg, Tim, the goats, thank you for helping me along my Swift journey, whether you realize that or not. Okay, so I've got another problem to solve, and this time it's got to do with Mist. If you're not familiar with Mist, it's a tool that lets you download macOS installers and IPSW firmware files. But there's problems with it, and it needs some work. So the metadata, it's being fetched from multiple sources. The installer feed is coming from Apple software update catalogs, and the firmwares are being sourced from a third-party API, IPSW.me. And there's currently no support for betas. There's an open PR, I think it's 2 years, been open for almost 2 years. I just haven't got to it. There's a lot of API calls that are happening in the background as well. It's super slow. I don't like it. I have to deal with plist and JSON and YAML. It's gross. So set out to solve that with some friends. Wanted to unify the data source, a single point where all the information comes in, and we want to automate the scraping of the metadata as much as possible. Didn't want to hop around fetching data from various sources, so a single consistent source. And we wanted to make it Mac admin friendly. So I've been working with friends in the community. We wanted to add additional data that is of value to us as Mac admins, for example, hardware information. And honestly, selfishly, it was just an excuse to learn server-side Swift. So with that in mind, Henry gave me a plug yesterday. We've built an API. I call it the Phoenix API. The repo is coming soon. And I'm just going to jump into a demo. Okay, so the website will be, can you guys see that? Yes, awesome. So this is a to-do, I'm still going to build out the website. It's a very hello world website, but it will have information once I learn how to CSS. If you click on explore, you can play with the API. So there's a whole bunch of endpoints. And if, for example, I'm just going to pick an example here. If you want to get the latest macOS release metadata, you get a list of query parameters that you can pop in. You can actually test the request here, plug in your values, you can hit send. If I've got Wi-Fi, yes, and you get a result back, and you can do whatever you want with that information. So there's URLs, there's SHA sums, version information, whether it's a beta, all that great information. There's hardware information as well. I can demo that. So for example, if you wanted to get hardware information for a particular model identifier, I think I've got the default set to iMac Pro. You get that sort of information back. Intro date, discontinuation date, yeah, all that fun stuff. Tech specs URL. So that's the API. Now, quick aside, I took a really long time to get here. I was about 16, 17 hours on a plane. It was about 4 hours on a train. So I had a lot of free time with limited Wi-Fi. So I like a stretch goal. Set myself a challenge to build something that could leverage this API. So I built a little app, a little proof of concept app that's leveraging pretty much everything that I'm about to show taps into that API. So we've got all the different macOS releases here. If you dive into a particular release, you can see the various builds. You can see the release dates. If you click on an individual build, it tells you what hardware is supported. You can see your own hardware if it's in that list. And if you click on the link, you can get the tech specs URL. Actually surprised that loaded. And you can also download, these are IPSWs. So you can download the actual IPSW. It's just a mock download, but you can see it there. You can see it there. If you're impatient and you want to download a whole bunch of IPSWs at once, you can hit download all, the little kickoff, and you can sort of monitor it here as well. So this is what I was able to come up with in about 20 hours. I've got a long flight back as well, so hopefully I can polish it up a little bit and add this to the list of apps that I've got in my GitHub repository. So that's the demo. I'll switch back to my notes. Cool. That's where you can reach me. Please don't be shy. You don't need to twist my arm to talk about Swift. I could talk about it ad nauseum. But that's where you can find me on Slack. You can email me, otherwise GitHub. And that's all. Thank you.